The film begins with a view of the main character, a guy named Fushi, who works as a forklift at the airport. He rolls across the concrete field, dragging not only the weight of the summer's emotional baggage behind him. So are the trivial carts of suitcases. Next scene, he's going for a refreshment of chocolate balls with milk, the champion's breakfast for dinner. His mother at the same time makes sandwiches for tomorrow's work shift. The next day brings another monotonous shift of loading and unloading luggage. In his free time, Fussy, as a decent asocial homebody, plays board war games, building tank wedges according to history books. Another scene catches the characters in a toy store. A brand new radio-controlled rover is purchased. The characters carry it home. On the way, a neighbor girl wonders who he is carrying the toy for, but the boy has no answer. Opening the door, Fushi catches his mother doing intimate things. To avoid further embarrassment, he goes off to test the car in the snowy street. Why he is caught by the girl next door. After making sure that a hubby named Rolf is gone, the guy comes home. In the evening, while his mother does his girlfriend's hair, Fushi goes to visit Mordor, with whom he plays a game of war game. One of Mordor's sons wants to play with them, but his father forbids it. These toys are not for children. Afterward, the adults smoke schmaltz discussing the latest news, in particular Fussy getting caught getting laid. The conversation turns to hypnotists capable of erasing shocking memories. The next morning, while shoveling light Scandinavian snow, Fushi notices Rolf wandering around his desk, touching figurines without asking. He goes inside to ask not to do so and corrects the fighting flanks of the plastic army. The man responds by advising him to pay more attention to real life than to reconstructions of glorious battles of the past. In particular, he recommends finding a girlfriend online. At work, his colleagues talk about Fushi behind his back and take away his headphones to ask him about his personal life, but he literally dodges the question. Then the annoyed bullies throw the headphones at his back. The next scene has the hero in a cafe ordering from the series as usual. The waiter automatically removes the second cutlery as unnecessary. After dinner, Fushi sits in his car by the river listening to heavy rock on the radio which he ordered from the DJ. When Fushi's birthday comes around, his stepfather hands him a cowboy hat and a certificate for a dance lesson, where he can shake his torso and meet new people. At work, Fushi is summoned by his boss to discuss the delicate matter of whether his coworkers are bullying him. Despite the outright hostility from them, the hero does not give anyone away. Returning home, he finds a neighbor's girl on the stairs. She lost her keys, cannot get home. He has to go to his house to feed her, and after a milk cake, the girl plays with his collectible action figures and wargame models until her father returns. In the evening, Fushi is taken to a dance with his mother and Rolf, who does not want him to go. After getting to the dance hall, the boy timidly goes inside where the other students are assembled. After watching them make merry, Fushi turns around and leaves. He sits in his car, stalling for time, listening to the radio and talking on the phone while a light snowstorm slowly passes outside the window. After waiting for the dance to end, the guy notices a lonely girl coming out last. A girl named Sion through the snow approaches his car and asks for a ride home. On the way, she tries to talk to him, but the timid Fushi, who has little experience in social interaction, responds ineptly. He confesses that he should have gone to the dance too, but didn't dare. His companion invites him to the next class, and he awkwardly agrees. In the afternoon, Fushi is discussing model tanks with Mordor. When Rolf asks how the class went, the old man asks to show him what he learned, but from his strange answers, it becomes clear to the adults that he did not go to any dance. After a hard day's work, he is once again bullied by his colleagues and dragged to the shower to be washed. Fushi is coloring figures when a neighbor girl rings the doorbell. She invites him to visit because she has no other friends in the neighborhood. They recently moved in, even though they are immediately, but he agrees. The girl asks the hero why he does not have a wife. She believes that he is just shy, although her father calls him crazy in the head. What the child with childlike sincerity tells Fushi. Going to the dance in the evening, the hero promises his mother to bring a blowtorch from work. It is necessary for the preparation of French dessert. At his first class, Fushi not only diligently repeats the movement as the teacher tells him, but stares at Sion, and after class they go for a walk together. The hero invites the girl to his favorite cafe, where he visits every Friday. Then they drive to his favorite spot on the beach, where Fushi takes advantage of his friendship with the DJ to order her favorite song on the radio, shyly coming out to talk to the car. The song makes a favorable impression on the girl, although the guy himself is diligently timid. Finally, Sion invites him to tea, but he refuses, saying that he does not drink this noble beverage. After dropping his girlfriend off and driving away, Fushi realizes he is a bit dumb. He returns and rings the doorbell for milk. In the course of a casually one-sided conversation, the girl inquires where he works, telling him in passing that he adores traveling. The hero answers one difficult to maintain friendly chit-chat, but returns home smiling happily. Bringing the promised blowtorch from work, Fushi heats up his mother's friend's French dessert in the kitchen. The woman discusses his recent late return, implying that he had a date. At work, a fellow bully asks him to see what's wrong with the car while Fushi picks under the hood. He apologizes for the prank in the shower and invites the hero to a party on Saturday, though his remorse is caused more by the boss asking uncomfortable questions. During a visit to a hobby mate, Fushi discusses with him a recent date, but Mordor frightens him that the dating period is the most terrible for a man, as it is necessary to constantly think up what to surprise the girl. His words capture the hero's soul. Fushi, knowing about her passion for travel, goes to travel agency to fly abroad where it is warm and sunny. Then he goes to a flower store where Sion works, but she quit long ago. Fushi is waiting for her outside the house when she returns from work in a garbage truck. He rings the doorbell to talk, but she angrily slams the door in his face. The guy again presses the doorbell to say that he does not care where she works. This melts the ice between them. Then Fushi invites her on a trip to Egypt. The girl wonders if he booked one room or two different ones, dotting the gap, and nothing can come between them. On Saturday, he goes with his colleagues to a party that starts with a paintball match. Then they get culturally drunk in the apartment. Soon a guest stripper shows up putting on a professional show. After the obligatory program, the guys pay a girl to sleep with Fushi, but the hero refuses and wants to leave. Then the others push him into the bedroom to undress, but he resists. Using his mass advantage, the hero easily spreads the bully's punching in the last face. Flailing in the morning with a hangover, he asks his mother to call work and take a sick day. Going out into the fresh air, Fushi meets a girl neighbor who offers to play. He refuses plans to take a ride in the car on the shore of the bay. Then she asks to go for a ride with him, but admiring the harsh Scandinavian beauty, the girl does not appreciate and asks to go home. But they are already waiting for the police, caused by the concerned father of the girl. He immediately calls Fushi a pervert and prohibits him to come near his daughter. The police invited the hero to the station to explain the situation. An experienced officer questioned the guy what exactly he and the girl play when she comes to visit. Finding no evidence of crime or malice, he lets the good-natured fat man. In the evening, Fushi puts on a costume and goes to a dance. He looks for Sion, but she does not come. After class, he drives to her house, where he hesitates to enter and watches from his car. The next day, Fushi drives his radio-controlled car around the yard, and local kids run up to him and let him drive it. But when the boy's mother notices him hanging around the fat man accused of pedophilia, she calls him home. Tormented by conflicting thoughts, Fushi goes back to Sion's house and breaks the glass to get inside. The apartment is in chaos, and the girl is locked in a closet like Tom Cruise in Stan Marsh's room. When he tries to talk to her, she asks him to leave. The hero almost obeys, but the pitiful meowing of a cat forces him to stay. After feeding the cat, Fusey sits in a chair in front of the television with his pet on his belly. In the morning he wakes up on the sofa in Cyan's apartment and prepares breakfast, which he leaves in front of the closet door. After cleaning the apartment, Fusey is about to leave. Breakfast is still on the floor untouched. He arrives at work to take a few days off, and after getting his permission, he goes back to Cyan to fix the broken glass. Fusey stays at the girl's place, studying recipes and cooking from them, in the process trying to get the landlady to talk. The girl confesses to skipping work and fears being fired, so Fusey goes to the junkyard to talk to her boss. He offers to work shifts for her. The hero returns to his girlfriend, taking a huge bouquet on the way. He carefully opens the door and then picks up the sobbing girl, comforting her that everything will be all right. Fusey carefully bathes Cyan in the bathtub, makes sure she eats something, puts her to bed and covers her with a blanket. The hero sorts garbage at the dump instead of the girl. The other workers look at him sideways, yet they invite him to watch soccer after work at the pub instead of taunting him. Upon returning home, Fusey finds his mother also upset. She was dumped by her boyfriend, hinting that her son deserves better than a depressed trash can. The mother drops her son on his brain so that he leaves his girlfriend. During another visit to Cyan, the hero catches her doing repairs to music. Fusey takes the recovered friend to a cafe. Driving around the city, they come to a former pastry shop, which Cyan has looked into for her own florist store. Finishing his last shift, Fusey has a drink with his new colleagues, who make fun of him, but in an unkind way. When he returns to Cyan, Fusey immediately jumps on him and drags him to bed. In the morning, Fusey wakes up in the same bed with the girl. They return to dance classes, and for the first time he is dressed in more appropriate attire instead of a strict costume, even wearing a cowboy hat. Cyan offers to go on the previously planned tourist trip together and to move in together. But now Fusey himself can't leave his mother alone. The girl is frustrated with his unwillingness to get out from under her mother's skirt and leaves. Fusey runs after her to tell her he is ready to change his life. At home, he saws a table for wargame, collects figurines, toys in a box that the girls take to the neighbor. She is not at home and his father accepts the presents and apologizes to him for his suspicions. Fusey and Mordor together carry the piles of boxes of things to Cyan, who nervously walks back and forth. She has another nervous breakdown, believing she is making a mistake by moving out with him. The guy has no choice but to move his stuff back home. Upset in his best feelings, he sits in his room among the boxes. Resentment won't let go. As he eats breakfast, Fusey looks out the window at a snowstorm, the snow completely covering the ground, reminding him how much his concern for Cyan has overshadowed his loveless, introverted gut. At the airport, the guy looks at the happy travelers flying off to distant lands or returning home with new emotions. He returns to the premises of the old bakery where, together with Mordor, he makes repairs. Having finished making the store look decent, the hero leaves the key to it along with a note in Cyan's mailbox. In the next scene, a truck with a trailer of luggage carts crawls across the concrete field of the airfield, but Fusey watches it from above and from the boarding aisle. He and the other passengers are preparing to embark on a journey to a foreign and distant country. In the porthole, the runway sweeps by, accelerating faster and faster. Fusey steps out of his comfort zone, breaks ties with the past and opens himself up to something new.